What's up, everybody? Eddie Ohanian, here's the Bling. We're coming at you with All-Nutrient and Tony DeFreya, the Director of Education. We're going to be going over CPL versus Demi Developer. So we're talking about Demi Permanent Color, and a lot of the questions that I get is when do you use the cream CPL? When do you use the cream color with CPL to pull through balance, tone, and all the good stuff? When do you use the liquid color, the keratin, and the demi-glaze developers? And in which scenarios, right? So I always like talking about that. I've been doing a lot of toning universities. We've been getting a great response from that. I'm still getting some questions. I figured I'll hit up Tony today and we'll go through that and we'll get his take on it a little bit and we'll just go back and forth.
Sure. Eddie, first of all, thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure to interact with you and Darren at Here's the Bling. You guys do a phenomenal job with the education. And in this time of COVID, and we're lucky enough to have the platform of Zoom here that we can, whatever you're using as part of your education platform, to get the message out to hairdressers, because we're not doing shows, we're not doing live events. This is as good as it gets. And Eddie, I want to thank you for inviting me to be able to spend some time with you and some of my friends out in your area that I've met over the years of coming out there and interacting with you guys. And I do miss coming out to Chicago, and I do miss you guys being out and about. And
we miss having you. You are a fan favorite.
I love coming out. So the topic that we want to talk about is when to use what, for what reason, and how do we use it, and what's the difference between CPL and Demi Developer. Well, cream color in our industry, you're all familiar with our All-Nutrient cream. Cream color is ammonia driven. Ammonia, and I'm not going to get into the chemistry of the color too much, but remember, the function of ammonia is what's necessary to understand when to use cream color over the liquid color, the keratin hair color. Cream color, because of its ammonia has a couple of functions. One, to swell the hair shaft and open the cuticle. Function number two is to mix with developer to make ammonium hydroxide, which is the lifting, the term here that's important, the lifting factor that removes natural pigment or artificial pigment from hair, okay? Now, keratin hair color, milder. It's driven with an AMP, olamine derivative, okay? Natural, okay? Milder, but AMP does not give you the lifting power when mixed with developer that ammonia does. So this is a perfect toner, balancer, filler, glazer, stainer, toner. Did I say toner already?
Anything, yeah, right. I'm running through the list.
Lift is not a factor, but you want deposit, okay? So the cream, in order for this cream to really break down into that beautiful pastry cream that we get in the bowl with All-Nutrient, it's important that we use the cream developer if you're doing a bowl and brush application. Some of the ingredients in the cream are designed to interact with the solids or semi-solids or cream solids here to give you a smoother, creamier consistency. This is a little bit stronger than a 5-vol developer, 5.1, 5.2, okay? So it's a 5 volume. But when the interaction goes with ammonia, even a 5 volume developer could give you a bump of lift. Okay? If you have already pre-lightened hair, you don't need that bump of lift. Or I don't want to break the base on hair that I did not lighten. So I want to protect the tone of the hair I did not lighten, but I want to be able to color the lightened hair or tone that lightened hair to a specific tone. The choice here would be keratin hair color. Okay? Depository, when mixed with the liquid 5 volume developer, okay, because the active or the kicker in this is milder, you are not going to get a break with using 5 volume, okay? Milder, more deposit, better balancer. This is a dripless gel. For those of you that have not used it, when you mix this, this becomes a like a medium weight styling gel to me. That's the
Yeah.
consistency. It's not liquid. Even though I'm using a liquid developer, when mixed with color, this becomes gelatinous. Okay, so I can put it on and not have it run down the sink, or I can not have it run on the floor. It will cling and stay put to the hair. So, and if I try, and I know people that do this, they will whisk CPL into this, but it doesn't really blend well. You know, everything that we do has a purpose. So, you know, use the right purpose for the task at hand. If you're using cream color, you could use the CPL to mix with cream color. Could I make a cream color a toner? Yes. Yes. It's a very simple process. Mix up your cream color of choice that you plan on using as a toner with the cream CPL. Put it in a bowl 15 to 20 minutes before you plan on using it, and just stir out and let the ammonia vape out. When the ammonia is gone, the lifting part of that color is now defunct. It's gone. It's a deposit only, but it will deposit on porosity. When we lift color with lightener, we've created potholes. We've created porosity. Using an ammonia-free or a low ammonia color will fill and give you deposition. But, you know, you don't have to go through all that. You can simply use the keratin hair color, exactly the same shades as the permanent hair color, and you will get that tone. And it's probably going to be better for the hair in the long run because I can control my saturation level very, very simply with the keratin, where the cream is a little bit more aggressive. So understanding porosity, understanding deposit, saturation, the higher the porosity, the quicker the saturate. In other words, porosity is really a good word for hair that is willing to absorb freely. The higher the porosity level, the more willingness the hair is to sponge or suck in whatever comes by. I know, Eddie, you and I have talked about this, about when to tone or not to tone. And I remember we did a class not too long ago there, last time I was there. It was a balayage class.
The balayage
And
class, yeah.
one of the girls at the balayage class said, I don't usually tone my lightener. And I said, oh, that's good. I mean, in a way, that's good. If she gets a clean tone that's a complementary tone to what she's trying to achieve for an effect, if you don't have to tone it because you like the tone that it's at with just a lightener, that's great. But you know, here's what happens, and we had this discussion with her at that class. The hair, because of its porosity, will pick up whatever color comes by. So if you have well water that has iron, you might get like a coppery, brownish red undertone start to pick up. If they use shampoos, non-professional, sold by salon shampoos that have artificial direct dyes in them, when they shampoo their hair, that hair could suck up some of those dyes. So they leave the salon looking absolutely beautiful, and then they call you up 2 weeks later. You know, my hair's changed. The tone isn't the same as it was when I left the salon. Really? Well, come on back in. They come in, and you look at it, and then, you know, we have a litany of questions. Well, what are you using for shampoo and conditioner? Well, I use, PetSmart's dog shampoo and conditioner. Or I'm using a conditioner. What color is it when it comes out? Oh, it's orange. Oh, it's orange? Is it the same orange that might be in your hair?
Yeah, right. You think, right? So
You think?
that's one of the
Right?
insanities is the toning process is the completion. So we use toners because we have lightened the hair, or the color that we had put on has now diffused its initial intensity, vibrancy, richness, depth, you know, depending on if you're doing light or you're doing dark, wherever we're doing. But a toner is to complete a process. We, in our minds, forget that sometimes, and we think a toner is a correcting process, or we think a toner is like some magic eraser process.
Right.
We don't
Right.
realize that the toner is the completion of the color service to seal and lock down that cuticle to protect itself, right? And then talking about analogies, look, I tell people all the time, it's cold outside. You go outside, you forget your jacket, you're freezing, right? That toner is like putting on that jacket to protect yourself
right.
from the cold.
It's a protective barrier. You know, even if and this is a pet peeve of mine. Even if I don't tone, and I don't tone a lot sometimes, because sometimes I get such a pretty complementary color with my foils that I like it. You know, we're you know.
No, I'm with
you. You go to the art museum, Eddie, right? And you stand in front of a painting and you look at it and you say, boy, I really like that. There is nothing there that I would change. I kind of do that with my hair, because if it comes up to a pretty tone, I like it. I'm not going to mess it up because I like it. But there are potholes caused by lightener that will make that hair absorb things that I don't want it to absorb. But you know, we had a product for that. We got the 00 Clear. It has all the attributes of the keratin hair color without the dyes. Why do I want to put this on? To seal, like you just said, Eddie. Put that coat on so that you don't get the shivers from the cold air outside. Put this on, fill in all those potholes on that hair so it doesn't absorb color from the water, color from a shampoo or conditioner, color from a fixative, or gives their hair a barrier against thermal disdain. You know, flat irons, overuse of a flat iron blonde hair will tone that down. It's going to naturally tone.
Yeah, and it'll discolor that hair.
We can retard that system by simply learning to gloss, and seal our hair. And I would mix this with Demi Developer liquid, not CPL, liquid. I would mix this with Demi Developer liquid, okay, not CPL. So do we have things that we could do in the salon? It's almost like putting the finishing touch on a house or on a piece of art. You know, you got to know when to stop, but you got to finish it. And this is how you finish. This is how you finish. Putting a toner in, first, like, you know, Eddie, we have, I just thought of this, these gray series, you know, the gray collection. All right, these are finishing touches for people that want distinct tones. All right, this is the crown. This is the jewel. This is what's going to give that client that look in the mirror and go, wow, I love this. Okay, finish. We have the tools. Finish. And learn how to use them. And that's the goal of these little quickie segments that we're doing, I assume, Eddie.
That's awesome. So yeah, so that's our little quick talk on the difference of CPL versus, or that's, let's try this one more time. That's our talk on Demi colors, right? Demi permanent colors, and CPL versus keratin color. So thank you, Tony. Thank you, everybody. As always, you got a comment, you have a question, hit us up, let us know, and we'll go from there. We'll catch you all next time. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.